So back in June, I was in a place where it seems like everything was falling apart and I didn't know what's gonna come next. But I had a dream, and that was to devote my energy and effort to become a better artist. And I feel like I'm mentioning that behind the desire to become a better professional artist, there was a very deep struggle in my personal life, which was a disaster. It was a real crisis. And so I took all of the challenges from the background and decided to harness this energy and make the most of it just to create a new version of myself. And the reason why I share these stories, I think that everyone has a dream, but in order to pursue that dream regardless of life challenges, it really takes either a lot of character or inner strength, discipline, and consistent effort. It's a matter of many choices and many decisions that a person make in order to be that version of themselves. And you can have the inborn talents and abilities. I think everyone has some kind of that. But in order to pursue a dream, you really have to make conscious decisions that will take you in that direction regardless of the circumstances around you. I know how convenient it can be to put the power in the circumstances. And please let me say that I really understand the struggle that comes with different life circumstances and the need for security and the desire to feel safe. Everyone wants to feel safe, and if something that threatens your safety is in your way of development, then it would really be hard to prioritize growth over safety when you feel insecure. So putting conscious effort to develop yourself as an individual, or to learn a new skill, or to do something that you have no commitment to anyone else but just to yourself. I feel like we tend to put so much energy into what other people need and the daily life that, everyone has something that they need to tend to, whether it's their physical activity or relationships or just working to pay the bills. And it can be really challenging to keep pursuing the dreams and the desires that we have, like in our core selves, and the parts that if you are not gonna do it for yourself, if you are not gonna chase your dreams, that really no one can actually. I think there is this fantasy or idealization that someone will just come over to you and hand you your dreams so you can now pursue it, and that there will be an external source that will hand you over what you want and just like serve it to you so you can do it now. But the truth is that if you want to live your dream, you don't need extra cash. You don't have to go to university, or you don't have to let's just say you have things internally. There are so many ways in this practical reality. Like, I feel like because it's very different for every person. Some people will need certain professional training and to go with another human being to help them. And other people, I guess like myself, will commit to a process of independence because this is how I work best and this is like what works for me. But for sure that every person has something, a choice that they can make, an effort that they can make to commit to what they want to do with their life. And I believe that because this is something that is internal, that probably most people have like the answers within them. Of course, that differs from one person to another, but I feel like in so many ways, for me, it was that the more I tuned into my own intuition, into my own inner voice, to my feelings, to my visions, to things that were very private and internal that no one could see. And the more I was consciously connecting with those unseen forces in my subconscious and putting a conscious effort to make it a reality, because as I mentioned, there was a big separation between what my subconscious wanted and what my reality was. So in order to pursue my dreams, which was very internal, I had to put a lot of conscious effort to make it a reality. And if you can see in my current sketch here, I don't think it was the best work that I've done, but it was one of the very first that I've done. And it was more about, I was feeling like I'm living on a disaster. And it felt like everything was falling apart, and I have a dream and I have no answers and I have no idea what to do. Okay, so let's channel all these questions that I have into something that I've never done before. Like, let's make it an adventure. And the adventure for me was to look for reference photos and try to work as much as I can on just sharpening my skills and committing to the process of painting. And as I went through it, I don't think that everything I did was good, but over time, I definitely could see how things have changed. And over time that I was practicing, committed to this practice, regardless of how I felt, regardless of the fact that I had more questions than answers, and it was very intense. And it's funny because you can see the intensity that was behind just the painting. All you can see is me painting what you might think is good or not. Depends on what you expect, because once again, it's also a personal interpretation. And the point is, I feel it's so different what we see and what the other person feels. It's so easy to see someone's success as it was a convenient path. The truth is, in order to become the master of your life, you have to commit to yourself. And that's a very big commitment, by the way. Like, I just feel I used to be a person who was very committed to other people. I used to be very prioritizing my relationships and taking care of other people around me and make sure that I have good relationships with others and that people around me feel good. But in that process, I definitely neglected myself and my dreams. I was even lost in other people's dreams sometimes. And with all of that being said, in order to commit to becoming a better artist, I didn't know everything, and I didn't go to university. I'm a self-taught artist, and therefore definitely something that was in me already. But in order to know what I was capable of, I had to challenge myself. Like, maybe before that I was just painting what I had in my imagination, which was good as a concept, but I felt like I might have something more to do with it. And when I decided to go on a practice of, from what I see, from the references, I could see, or at least I was meeting a part of myself that I didn't even know it was there. I didn't even know I could do it. I didn't even, I wasn't ready for that challenge previously. But over time, when I was allowing myself to feel this very intense discomfort of not feeling so good about what I do, not feeling like I'm the best word artist, but just making myself a better artist than I was before that project. And I could have seen over time that I'm capable of more than I would allow myself to be. But it definitely required me to make a plan or to make a process. It was a very me thing, because if you go to an external place, if you go to a university, if you go to work, or if you commit to someone else, sometimes that's easier because you don't want to disappoint them. You hold yourself accountable in your relationships. But how do you hold yourself accountable in your relationship to yourself? And when I show it through the arts, it could be in any other thing in life. It could be even how do you relate to your health? How do you prioritize your well-being? How do you take care of your emotions and your mental health? How do you take care of basically every part of yourself? And do you put other people before you put yourself? And while I know it sounds really self-involved, I believe that being self-sacrificing is not helpful to anyone. If you sacrifice your needs, your dreams, your well-being, your health, your emotions, it's not like if you follow your dreams, it's not like you will not feel other things. It's not just rainbow and sunshines, let me tell you, but at least you'll feel like you have more purpose and meaning. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's not always about feeling like I'm winning or I'm the best, but just the fact that I follow my heart is so powerful. Don't quit on your dreams. It's not really about being the best, but it's about trying your best and following on that path and not giving up. Because you'll see at some point that you're worth it. You really are.